Hi there, painting class. Hi there, stigmatin fathers, brothers, and seminarians. So it is my honor and pleasure to share with you my knowledge in basic acrylic painting. And I hope that you will enjoy this painting project and will create beautiful paintings in the end. Okay, so I am your teacher Vero or teacher V. So we will be together for a little over than a month for this painting project. Okay, so let me discuss with you the elements of design to help you in conceptualizing your drawings or design compositions for your paintings. So you will understand more the basic of drawing objects and putting them together into compositions for your paintings. Okay? Okay, so what are the elements of design? So they are the components of design. Basically, all objects are composed of this. These are what we use in different variations and combinations to create a work of art. So these are like the numbers in math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. So we use these in various combinations to compute and calculate. So similar to the design, to the elements of design, these are what we use to do drawing compositions made up of different objects which convey a message or messages to the viewers. Okay, so first we have spot. So as the first element of design. So why do we need to know these elements of design? Because if we look at the things or objects around us, they can all be broken down into the elements of design. So as I've said earlier, the first element is spot. So it is not a perfect circle as you see in the slide. So let us see if we place the spot in different positions on a paper, each position already has messages to the viewers. For example, if the spot is at the center of the paper, then you can feel that it's just chilling there, it's floating, it's calm and relaxed. But when the spot is near the bottom edge of the paper, so you may see that the spot is came from above and then is falling down to the ground. Okay, so when the spot is near the edge above the paper, then you feel like the spot is like a balloon floating up in the air. Okay, when you see the spot near the vertical side of the paper, then you can see that this looks like a door and this is the doorknob. So when there's a big spot and a tiny spot uh, together on the paper, then your mind can tell you that the tiny spot is far, far away back there and the big spot is near you. Okay. So when you see this it's like a rain of spots, then you can feel that it came from this side, this corner, and they are falling down to the ground. Okay. So with spot placed on different positions on the paper, there will be different interpretations of the mind already. Okay. So here, so this is what I said earlier. Okay. So the mind interprets each position of the spot on the paper differently from each other. Okay. So we now have the second element of design. And the next element of design is line. So we see line in all objects around us, even on us. If we are angry, we see the lines on our forehead. The different lines are, we have the straight line, okay? So we have the curved line, we have the bent line, and we have a combination of the bent line and the curved line, okay? So there are other lines. There are abstract lines which do not really exist. These lines, we actually we cannot actually see or trace, but we can see them through imagination. Example, circular lines formed by the rapidly turning rotors of a helicopter, lines formed by a tossed coin, lines formed by the rays of the sun. So we also have lines as symbol. So a line becomes a symbol when a specific meaning is attached to it. When two or more people agree about the meaning, the symbol can serve as a method of communication. So the lines of letters and numbers have particular symbolic meaning. Okay? So these are actually lines, the different types of lines, straight lines, curved lines, and bent lines, but they have meanings attached to them. Okay. So we have the third element of design, which is the shape. Okay. So if the line touches itself, then encloses an area, then we call it a shape. So shape is the outer line of the object. This is two-dimensional. It has no depth, only length and width. If we look closely, we can break down all objects into geometric shapes such as circle, square, triangle, and others. So if you see the human person, so we can break down the human person into shapes. Okay, the head can be a circle, and the body can be a rectangle, and this is a female, so the skirt can be a triangle, and the arms can be rectangles, and the legs can be inverted triangles, okay, and the shoes also. So they all can be broken down into shapes, simply put. Okay. Okay, so now we have the fourth element of design, which is form. So form is three dimensional, length, width, and height. Okay, so it already has a depth. The geometric forms are cone, pyramid, cube, and sphere, cylinders, and others. So the forms of nature are fruit, block of cheese, tree trunk, animal, human form, and others. Okay, so let us see other examples of forms. Okay, so sculpture, installation, and the human form. So they are all three-dimensional. So we now go to the fifth element of design, which is space. So space is empty and it is nothingness. But for a designer or artist, an area or extent wherein objects, it is an area or extent wherein objects move. So space can be a playground of the imagination. So space can be used to create interesting drawings, and the space can be small or big. Okay. So so the next slide is, we have the two kinds of space. Actual, this is the existing space. Example, the size of a room or size of a table. So two-dimensional space within the borders of plane, such as canvas, your painting canvas, or a sheet of paper. Three-dimensional spaces inside and around a room or a building or a function hall or a classroom. Okay. So pictorial is the illusionary space that we see in two-dimensional work such as drawings and posters. So examples of actual space. So it's the cover of a book, and this is a drawing with illusion of depth. Okay. And we have the pictorial space. So it's creating the illusion of real or 3D space on the surface of a paper. So here we see some objects as near or far from the viewer on a two-dimensional paper or board. So we usually see a foreground, middle ground, and background in pictorial space. So we just have the illusion of depth in pictorial space. Okay, so we have here pictorial space as the creating of an illusion of real or 3D space on the surface of a paper. So this is an example of a drawing of a pictorial space. So objects in the distance appear to be smaller than those closer to the viewer. Okay, so you have the illusion of depth. Now, we have the next element of design, which is texture and pattern. So both texture and pattern are surface elements. So texture refers to the surface quality of a thing. This is what we feel when we touch an object. So texture and pattern provide interest in our surroundings and also in our drawings and paintings. Okay, so examples of texture. Okay, so pattern. So it is difficult to separate pattern from texture. So pattern is a repetitive motif like what you see here. So this gives a texture effect in drawings or paintings. So, okay, let me just go back to that slide. So in pattern, there's a motif and it is repeated. So other examples can be your wallpaper or your gift wrapper. So it gives visual interest or texture to the textile or paper. Okay. So next design element is color. So of all the design elements, color is the most appealing. It has been called the music of the visual arts. So color brings a mood and depth of experience that cannot be achieved in any other way. It has an enormous capacity to stimulate and manipulate our emotions. So there are different reactions and emotions when we see colors, and this helps a lot in conveying message or messages in our paintings. So the mood of the painting or your drawing is shown through the colors used. So bright color combination is used to convey a happy mood, and dark color combination is usually used to convey a sad mood. Okay, so when you have a pink, light pink, pastel colors, so it usually conveys a femininity or glamour or softness in your drawing. Okay. So let me just show you the color wheel by Albert Mansell. So it has um, 12 colors in this color wheel. So this is the most popular color wheel used until the present. Okay. So let me just discuss with you warm colors and cool colors. So warm colors are the hues from red to yellow, including orange, pink, brown, and burgundy. So warm colors are bright, splashy, and aggressive. So warm colors stimulates the emotion and it also stimulates the appetite. So cool colors are the hues from green to violet, including blue and all shades of gray. Cool colors have exactly the opposite effect as warm colors. They slow down the body metabolism and calm our emotions. So they have a relaxing effect. Okay? So let me discuss with you the primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors because you will be doing mixing of your acrylic paint. Okay. So in your set of acrylic paint, you have the primary colors and they are the red, blue, and yellow. Okay. So the secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. So how do you get the secondary colors? So when you mix equal amounts of red and blue, you get purple or violet. So when you mix equal amounts of yellow and blue, you get green. Yellow and red, you get orange. Okay? So tertiary colors are mixtures of primaries and secondaries. So examples. If you mix yellow with orange, you get yellow-orange. If you mix red with purple, you get red-violet. Okay? If you mix yellow with green, then you get yellow-green. Okay, so you can experiment later on when you mix your acrylic paint. Okay, so you also have to know the properties of colors because this will be very useful in um, making your paintings alive, look alive, and interesting. Okay, so hue is the synonym of color. So it is the name by which we identify color. So it is the pure state of the color, no mixture whatsoever. Examples are red, blue, green, yellow, orange. Okay. So value refers to the relative lightness or darkness of a color. So to make a color light in value, we add white. Okay. To make a color dark in value, we add black. Okay. Again, so if you want to lighten blue, you add white. So you get here, it can be a powder blue or baby blue. Okay. But when you want to make the blue darker, you add black and you get navy blue or midnight blue. Okay. So we have intensity. Intensity is also known as chroma or saturation. So colors that are not grayed, that are at their ultimate degree of vividness, are said to exhibit high intensity, while low intensity or dull implies that the hue has been grayed. So when the color is vivid, meaning that red is really red and blue is really clear blue, then it has a high intensity. But when the color is like dull or muddy, so it is not shiny, okay, or vivid, then it has low intensity or it is dull. So to make a color dull or low intensity, add black and white or gray. Okay, so if you want to make the color not so vivid because you need it in your mood, in your painting, you add gray. Okay, and how do you get gray? So you mix black and white. So that's gray, and then you add gray to the color that you want to have a low intensity. Okay, so when do you use low intensity colors? Maybe if your painting is quite gloomy, or if the painting is a cemetery, so you need the colors to be dulled. So they cannot be vivid. Okay. Okay. So here are the sources. Okay. So thank you. So that's the discussion for the design elements. Okay.